Hello everyone, it's Aidan from Push Square. So 2022 is coming to an end and we've got plenty of top 10 roundups for you to watch over the next week or so. But today's video I wanted to talk about my most played games of the year. And some of these are kind of surprising, some of them aren't really what I expected. But of course these are all coming from the PlayStation wrap up. This launched a couple of weeks ago. It lets you see your total amount of hours played on PlayStation, the games, the trophies and all of that. So I found it very interesting to see what my top played games were. So let me know down below yours as well. But let's just get into it because there's plenty of judging that will take place today. So number 5, this is probably the biggest surprise out of all of the inclusions of this list, is Dying Light 2, which is sitting at 44 hours logged with 4% of my annual playtime. Now I like Dying Light 2 actually. I was a massive fan of the first game and you'll possibly see one of the videos that's coming out. I think it was a little underrated actually in the lineup of 2022 games. But I was supremely surprised to see this show up in the top 5, and that's mainly because I only played it for like a week or two. This was back before I actually started at this place. I was a guides writer at the time, so I was doing a bunch of different guides for it. So that is definitely, you know, responsible for a lot of my playtime with this game. But I was just quite surprised. I feel like I've played a lot of different games this year and sunk hard into a lot of different games, but not according to this. Dying Light 5 is my number 5, so surprising, but let's move on. Now number 4 is totally not surprising. It's God of War Ragnarok, sitting there with 63 hours logged and 7% of my annual playtime. This is obviously just a super recent one. It just came out in November 9th. So at this point that I'm recording, it's the 20th of December and I am completely done with the game now. I platinumed it. You can watch that video as well if you want. And I adored my time with this game. And I'm not a big platinum trophy hunter at all, but this, the way that it weaved narrative moments into its side content and content you could just completely miss. It was lore filling, it was entertaining, it gave you more opportunity to test out your skills as the God of War with all of the weapons and the abilities that you had accumulated across its campaign. I adored this, so I wasn't too surprised to see it land in my top 5. Number 3 though, narrowly beating out God of War Ragnarok, we have Modern Warfare 2 with 66 hours and still a 7% annual playtime. Modern Warfare 2 is one of those games now I haven't really been playing it the last few weeks because, and let me know if anyone else is like this, it's one of those games that just drives you mad. Like so, I get so invested. I was really grinding all the gold camos and all of that, but then I realized as I was maybe like 10 gold camos in that you know, once I've done this, I need to get onto the platinum ones, and then there's one after that, and one after that, and I just, at that point, partnered up with all of the sweats that are in the lobbies. I could not do it anymore. I just decided, enough is enough, I am done with this. Not done, but I needed a bit of a break, because I was just getting into the habit of going on, playing a few hours with some mates, because it's great being in a lobby full of mates in the latest Call of Duty. It feels, it sort of recaptured the old days for me with, you know, the original Modern Warfare. I got small little, you know, hints of nostalgia there that egged me on to play more of this game. But it is surprising to see it placed so high considering I had a real short burst of like, I'm playing this game and now I'm not, you know, especially since it only came out like a week before Ragnarok, so I'm also fitting in another 60 hours within the span of like a month. What am I doing with what do I do in my spare time? Next up though, number 2, Destiny 2, 94 hours logged with a 10% annual playtime. That is kind of surprising because I haven't played Destiny since early in the year. I was going hard for the Witch Queen, which I absolutely adored. And it was like kind of my first big exposure to the PlayStation 5 update of the game. This was me properly like getting back into Destiny. And that's kind of the habit for me. Anytime a new update comes out, I'll dip back in, I'll go hard for it, I'll absolutely love it, and then it fade away again until the next big expansion comes out. It's totally going to be the case when Lightfall comes out in February. I am surprised to see it get as close to 94 hours. I think this totally would have been higher as well if I had more people to play Destiny with, because Destiny is kind of been not a solo one. Like, I have some friends that I played with, but a lot of those friends have groups as well, so I don't have like a dedicated squad of people that I've played Destiny with. It's part of the reason that I dip out of it after a little while, but I totally love the game. I think it has some of the smoothest first person shooting ever. It's got a stunning world, the environmental design, it's crazy. It's genuinely so good, and the way that they're setting up the narrative from the Witch Queen to Lightfall to the final shape, I believe it is, I'm super excited. I've been on Destiny on and off, admittedly, since the very beginning, and that's I'm happy to see it's still here in 2022, like 8 years after the original game came out. The final one though, and this was a bit of a shocker, a little bit of a shocker, and that is Apex Legends, because I legitimately have not touched this game since June, I think it is. I was a fiend for Apex Legends. I played it almost every single day for pretty much 2 years. Since the beginning of the lockdowns, I went so hard for Apex Legends. The only reason I stopped is because I was like, I need to just take a step back, because the whole battle pass system and like logging in to do your daily challenges, it became kind of too much, where it takes away the fun. You start to just be like, oh, I gotta go on and I gotta do these challenges, and sometimes the daily challenges can take as much as like 2-3 hours depending on how lucky you get with the games that you're in, especially if you're playing solo. And that's without me even mentioning 154 hours logged and 17% of my annual playtime. That is enormous considering half the year it wasn't touched, and it just shows how much I was playing it at the beginning of the year. Who knows what it would be at if I continued to play it all through 2022. I don't think I'm necessarily done with the game. I know that once I step back in, it will be like getting into that old habit. It's like a slippery slope, as they say. I like the idea of trying to play other games, other single player games, other multiplayer games, and being so deeply invested in one singular shooter like Apex Legends. And Destiny's kind of the same as well. Like, it means I'm missing out on other experiences. You know, that's really what I want to change in my gaming lifestyle. But looking across at all of those, Dying Light 2, God of War Ragnarok, Modern Warfare 2, Destiny 2 and Apex Legends, looking ahead to 2023, I think I need to take a bit more of a step back from first person shooters. I have a lot of fun with them. They're really like the genre that I gravitate towards, but I do want to start ticking off some of those big missing marks in my backlog. You know, some of the big PlayStation exclusives I haven't touched yet. I'm planning to play Death Stranding over Christmas. Whether I get through it or not, that's another thing entirely. I might be playing it right now when you're watching this video, or maybe I've completely patched it already for some more Modern Warfare 2. So yeah, I think moving ahead, I would love to see more single player games in that next year. I don't necessarily think I need, like, I know these hours won't be big compared to some people, but I don't think I need massive amounts of time. I would even be happy seeing some a bit more random games in there with lower times, just because I'm playing a lot more variety, you know, mixing things up. But we'll just need to see in 2023. But yeah, of course, let me know what your most played games of 2022 were down in the comments. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of different answers to this, and I'm curious to see what they are. But thank you everyone for watching. If you enjoyed the video, consider leaving a like and subscribing to the channel, because we have plenty of PlayStation content right here on Push Square. Anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.